So, today we're talking about all the beginner mistakes that I definitely made and that I see so many new folks in tech making. So, if you're just starting out, you will want to avoid these so you don't waste your time, so you don't waste your energy, and so you don't lose motivation. So, let's get straight into the video. The first mistake that you'd be making would be trying to learn everything at once. Trust me, it's not always what works, right? If you're coming into the industry for the first time and something piques your interest, say you want to learn front end, or you want to learn back end, or you want to learn product design, community management, whatever it is you want to learn, I feel like you should stick to one for a while. Learn that craft, try to understand what it is, and actually work on projects before you decide to move to another thing. I mean, trust me, there's a chance where you learn something and at the end of the day you don't feel fulfilled in that role. I have been in that situation about twice, where I'm working in a role and I don't feel okay with it, because at the end of the day, what's your retirement plan like? Would you still be working in this role in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Is it something that will still excite you? Humans are allowed to evolve, but when it has to do with you starting, always stick to one thing. That's one mistake that you should never make as a beginner in tech. If you want to do front end, stick to front end. Try to build products and projects. Try to collaborate with people and see where that takes you. Apply for jobs. Apply for internships. If you want to do product design, same thing. If you want to go into marketing, the same thing. I see a lot of people make that mistake of trying to learn everything at once. No, dear, you cannot just get started in tech and in a few months time you're a full stack. It doesn't work that way. You can't possibly learn front end and back end at the same time. You can't possibly learn front end, back end, product management, community management. No, it doesn't work that way. So pick one thing and stick to it so you don't get to burnout. Because trust me, darling, burnout doesn't want to know if you're learning so many things at the same time or if you're trying to be productive and all whatnot. Right. So the second mistake that you're making as a beginner or would need to avoid is not building projects early enough. Trust me, I understand how beautiful it is for you to, read all the resources, watch all the videos, but are you really learning something if you're not building? Right? It doesn't have to be something really huge. It can be just a simple replication. You don't even have to originate your own project. You can replicate what's already existing. But the fact that you're building alongside learning helps you learn more, helps you have that practical experience, right? Don't wait till you feel like, okay, I'm ready to start building projects. Remember, you can always start small. You can even start by building a portfolio website if you're a front-end developer, or even if you're a designer, you can start by designing a portfolio website, designing a to-do list app, all those simple projects. If you're a digital marketer or you're a community manager, you can start by trying to write community case studies, strategies, and all of that. Projects help you apply what you learned. It helps you build confidence. It helps you build proof of work, because you know how hard it is as a beginner to start looking for jobs and you don't have something to show in your portfolio, right? You don't even need to work somewhere to have something in your portfolio. You can come up with what we call there's stuff that we call passion projects. They are either you call them passion projects or dummy projects. They're not necessarily real life projects that people are using, but these are just ideas that you came up with. You don't even need to come up with ideas. There are thousands of idea generators. Even ChatGPT can help generate an idea for you. Just come up with something, build something. The main essence is for someone to be able to see the skills that you have and how you applied it in that project. So don't forget, always build while learning. Another thing that I want to say that you're probably not even expecting me to say in this video is being too shy to ask for help. That is a mistake that you should never make. In fact, I made that mistake so you don't have to make it. See, tech is collaboration. Tech is team support. Tech is I help you, you help me, right? Google is great. ChatGPT is awesome. But you know what's better? People, right? So you need to start connecting with people. You need to start asking for help. Ask questions. Join communities. I cannot overemphasize the importance of being a part of a community. See, my first UI UX design project came from being part of a community. It was through recommendation. right? Attend tech events. You don't even need to know what's going on there. You might just attend that event because you want to meet someone or you just want to learn. You might be a very shy person that you don't know how to walk up to people and ask questions. But, darling, if you keep attending, in fact, somebody will definitely walk up to you. If you're a shy person, don't worry, there's somebody that will do the work for you. That's how cool it is, right? So attend meetups, join communities, ask questions, connect with people online, message people that are in the senior category or mid-level category. You don't even have to look too high, right? You can look at people in your level, because they are exposed to different things. So you're first of all learning from your level and then moving to the next level, like that. So you don't necessarily need to start looking up to really senior people, because again, they might not necessarily answer you if you don't have anything to offer. Some of them do answer, but not all of them. So look within your circle, look within your level. You're a community manager that is just getting started. There's another community manager that is just getting started. He or she might probably be exposed to certain things that you don't know about. Can be exposed to jobs, projects, certain strategies that you don't know about. So reach out to the people in your level. Look up to people that are more senior, people that you could possibly look up to that have been in that field before you. You'd be surprised at how many people would want to help you. Like, I think that is one of the things that I struggled when I got started in my career. I used to be very shy, and the few times that I tried not to be shy and walked up to a few people to ask for help or to ask questions, you don't want to know what I heard. And I'm this kind of a person that if you tell me off once, I'm just going to get the memo. Like, I'm just going to get myself out of that situation. And I might not feel that comfortable to reach out to another person again, because I feel like everyone is going to treat me that way. And I've had my own fair share of that experience in this space where you're reaching out to someone trying to get help and they come off as rude, or they air you, or they don't even answer you. Sometimes it just makes you feel so overwhelmed, and you're like, if this is how it is, let me just do my own stuff. But trust me, doing your own stuff will take you longer, and there's so many mistakes that you could have avoided. So regardless of if you reach out to people and they don't answer you, they were not meant to answer you anyway. So move to the next set of people. You'll definitely find one or two persons that will answer you out of the 10 people that you reach out to. Another mistake that you shouldn't make as someone that is just getting started in tech is comparing your journey to others. First of all, you need to understand that comparison is a thief of joy and progress. And it has happened to me a lot of times, right? A lot of people go into tech through different ways. They can go into tech through boot camps, through computer science degrees. There's some people that don't have degrees. Some people maybe just stumbled on a video. They are self-learning. There are so many ways people go into tech. And, most people are just naturally built for certain things. Someone can go into tech now and they land a job in 3 months or land a job in 6 months. There are other people that will go in and they land a job in 2 years or even in 4 years, right? I think that comparing yourself to other people already limits you. The only thing that should make you compare yourself, in fact, I wouldn't even call it comparison. The only thing that should make you look at someone else and then look at your own self is for motivation. You can look at someone's journey and it motivates you, it inspires you, like, I would like to be like this person. Let me see what's this person's process like. But when you're comparing yourself, like, oh, I started tech before this person, or we started together, this person has progressed. I think it's a high time we all have that conversation that most people have things easy in life. Like, it's not me trying to be spiritual or trying to defend anything. Most people have things easy in life. Other people have to work really hard for it. Other people, even when they work hard, they still struggle. Like, people have different people, things come to people differently, right? For me, it doesn't even make sense. I used to make this mistake a lot. Like, I could sit down and overwhelm myself, start feeling depressed, like, oh, I started tech before this person is doing well, this person has gotten a job, this person is that. Instead of me to focus that energy on, okay, what can I do next if this is not working out for me and I'm not able to stand out the way I want to? What can I do to help? Or is it that I'm in the wrong field? Like, instead of worrying yourself in trying to compare your journey to another person, look at your journey. If it's not working the way you want it to work, what can you do to propel yourself forward? Right? So that's one mistake that you shouldn't do. Don't forget, you might just enter in, and in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, you've gotten a really nice paying job. In fact, you've already moved to, depending on the company that you join, your pay might be so huge. It's, look at it like someone might someone might get a job, let's say in 2 or 3 months or 6 months of them joining the tech industry, and they get the opportunity to learn on the job and grow. And then you that have been learning and building projects, you just come in, you eventually get a job that pushes you to the next level without you having to do too much. It just comes differently to everybody. So focus on your focus and do what you have to do. So, the final mistake that you might be making as a beginner is not showcasing your work online. Ha, darling, what are you even doing if you're not showcasing your work online? Like, I need you to understand that tech is visibility. There's nothing like, oh my god, I'm so shy, I don't know what to post. Oh my god, oh my god. No. Mm-mm. Sis, nigger, bro, see, you might be doing work, you know what you're doing, you're so good at what you're doing, but who knows you're doing it? That's the question. Like, who knows what you can do? Who knows you're doing it? So, as someone that is just getting started in tech and you want everybody to know what you're doing, you need to start sharing. You need to start talking about what you're doing. You need to start talking about the mistakes that you're making, that bug you're facing, trying to, pick the right color for your designs. Let people see your process, you know, let people see how you've struggled, how you've come out of that struggle. Let them see your works. So you're not just posting about your process, you're posting your work. Document it. You don't just create, you document it. For me, I like to see it like being intentional about documenting your processes, about documenting your journey. Use platforms like LinkedIn, use platforms like Twitter. At least those are the two places that tech people hang out a lot, right? You can even open a YouTube channel and start sharing your journey and start sharing your process. You never can tell who is watching. I have had several opportunities from people that have just watched me from afar. Like, there are some people that I see follow me. I'm like, now wow, okay, I'll just follow back, right? Because in my mind, I'm just looking at these accounts, like these are top accounts that I would probably be the one to follow first, but they're following me first. What did they see in me? And then a few years after or a few months after, they just slide into the DM. Oh, I've been watching you, I've been seeing what you're doing for a while, and I think I like it. I would like us to collaborate on a project. I've had so many messages like that, and it has changed my life, right? So, and then after a while, you can decide, okay, you know what, I don't want to be sharing again. There are some people that thrive on sharing knowledge. Like, if you don't share, people would almost forget that you're no longer in existence, or they will almost forget that you're no longer doing tech. And you're not to blame them, because they've not been seeing you, they've not been seeing your work. So, as someone who is just getting started, I would advise you to share publicly. Let people know what you're doing. Over time, you can decide to be more strategic about that. Try to build a network, have coffee chats, speak to people, connect with people more. And then you don't even need to start sharing more. You can just rely on your connections for opportunities, because honestly, at some point it gets tiring to start sharing content and sharing and sharing and sharing. It gets tiring, but before you get to that level, you must have been able to build your connect in such a way that you don't even need to struggle when you need anything. You can just reach out to one or two of your connections and you're good to go. One final thing that I'm going to speak to you about today that you need to take into consideration is that you do not have to feel like you're ready before you apply for jobs, right? In fact, it's a huge mistake on its own for you to think that you must know everything before applying for a job. See, nobody knows it all in tech. It's constantly evolving. Now we are in the era of AI, right? We're in the era of AI and Web3. Everybody's talking about. In fact, even the people that are talking about Web3 still don't really know what they're talking about, right? Everybody's just vibes on, oh, let's see how this works. So the industry is constantly evolving. People are constantly evolving. People are constantly learning. So you need to know that nobody knows everything. Even the person that is going to interview you doesn't know everything. At some point, that person was also in that shoe, right? Trying to apply for a job, interviewing with another person, answering questions. So look at these people as human beings, right? So if you want to apply for an internship or apply for a job, shoot your shot, right? Shoot your freaking shots. The worst that can happen is you're going to get a no and it's not going to kill you. There are lots of jobs that allow people learn on the job. You don't necessarily need to have so much experience before you apply. So shoot your shot, do what you have to do. Remember that that recruiter, that HR, that senior person was once in your shoe trying to figure out, how do I prepare for this interview and all of that. So yeah. So there you have it. Some of the biggest mistakes beginners make when starting out a tech career. So if you made any of these mistakes, guess what? You don't have to be ashamed at all, right? What matters is what you do next from here after watching this video. So comment below, tell me which of these hits the hardest, or if you've got any mistake that I didn't mention that you have made or you think you're making right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who is getting started in tech. See you in my next one. Bye.